5 countries where we work and be linked to 100 plus volunteers who utilize online technologies to understand the problem that they face and provide solutions. The customized technical advice focuses on a number of aspects, namely food safety, product development, shelf life improvement, process development, nutrition and fortification, process and strategy development, engineering, among others. Currently, the rise of prices in commodities and raw materials required for nutritious food production stands as a challenge for food processors as we seek to explore opportunities and possible solutions to existing needs for growth and sustainability of enterprises. One such opportunity is exploring how the legume value chain can provide solutions to processors. Legumes are a good source of proteins, B vitamins, iron, and fiber. Processing ensures improved bioavailability of key nutrients, and in addition, improves preparation times, ensuring convenience of consumption for low-income consumers. As a program, AINFP endeavors to work with SMEs interested in process development around legumes, among other value chains, in order to meet its goals of ensuring availability of safe and nutritious food at the bottom of the pyramid. I am delighted right now to welcome Dr. Robert Fungo from the Alliance of Biodiversity International and CIAT, and I believe he'll probably explain what CIAT actually means in full, to delve more into how we can expand opportunities to improve incomes and nutrition security. Welcome, Dr. Fungo.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. I'm Robert Fungo. I'm a nutritionist. I work with the Alliance of Bioveristy International and CIAT. I sit in Kampala, and I support nutrition work in the Alliance. Specifically, I support nutrition work on beans. We work in several countries. There are more than 30 countries that we work in across the sub-Saharan Africa, promoting beans as a nutritious crop and also an income crop. This meeting where I'll be presenting, it is a result of a visit we had at the USAID mission in Zambia, where we had a meeting with the USAID technical staff, who encouraged us to link up with TechnoServe that is implementing a project in Zambia and the sub-Saharan Africa, other countries in the southern region. The project that is promoting value addition in legumes. And they thought that if we shared our experience with you, we could have a synergy of working together, especially with the private sector that you're supporting in Zambia. With me here, I have 2 colleagues that have joined me. One is Dr. Eliud Birache, is an economist. He has joined me, and he may introduce himself.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Good to see you all. I'm Eliud Birache. I work with Robert from the market side of things and linkages with the private sector and generally value chain development. I'm based in Rwanda, but I support the work in the region, including with the projects in Zambia and Malawi that are also supported by the USAID through MSU. Thank you. Good to be here and interact with you.
Thank you so much, Eliud. The other one is Justice Mutari. Justice, can you introduce yourself? Justice.
Justice, your sound is not coming through. Kindly check your sound.
Yes. Lastly, we are working with Mark Thompson, whom is also, I think, is part of the network in Zambia, but is working with us on our project in Zambia. Mark, could you introduce yourself, please?
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Robert. My name is Mark Thompson. I'm the CEO of Trinity Super Nutrition, and we process beans in the form of a dehydrated bean that takes 10 minutes to cook, and we'll soon be doing a composite flour and a cereal line in the next couple of months. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, regarding today's meeting, the presentation, I request to share my screen. I've prepared some slides, and I'll immediately. I'm trying to look for my slides, but I can't locate them. Okay.
Justice, I think your sound is fine now. You can introduce yourself.
Okay. Okay. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, kindly put it on presentation mode.
Oh, it's not in presentation mode. Okay, don't know.
On the menu bar, go to the slideshow.
Can you?
Thank you.
The
yes.
slideshow? I hope you
it's
can
fine.
see the
Thank
slide.
you. Yes, it's fine. Thank you, Robert. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry for that. mishap. I think now you can see this, the presentation mode of my slides.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thanks. Yes, we have a project in Malawi and Zambia being funded by USAID, and the project is being funded through the Legume Innovation Systems Lab of Michigan State University. This project is being implemented by a series of partners. It's a consortium. We are working with the Zambia Agricultural Research Institute, University of Zambia. We have brought on board the Zambia Bureau of Standards and a series of private sector players, including Trinity Superfoods, that is being led by Mark Thompson. And in Malawi, we work with the University of Lilongwe and the DAS, the Department of Agricultural Research Services, including the Malawi Bureau of Standards. So this is a research project, scientific research, but influencing development through research. And this project started sometime this year, and it has been ongoing, and the research work is currently being implemented through the universities and the students in collaboration with the private sector. And that's what we are going to be talking about today, on how we are adding value to legumes in the two countries and how the universities are influencing value addition to these legumes, and as well as meeting the standards of the country. My presentation will be, I will talk briefly about the lead institution, which is the Alliance ABC, which is the lead is PABRA, the Pan-African Bean Research Alliance, which is under the ABC, the Alliance of Bioveristy International, CIAT, and how we are influencing the bean agenda in Africa. I'll talk about the project objectives, outcomes, and then some of the research updates. And my colleague, Justice, will come in and talk about how we are adding value to legumes in the two countries. As I mentioned earlier, just wanted to talk about how we are positioned in Africa and how PABRA is supporting bean research in Africa. As I mentioned, we have a network of 31 countries. These are national agricultural research systems across 3 networks.
Kindly mute. Thank you.
It's a network of it's a network of about 3 bean networks, and the PABRA is positioned in West Africa as Weka Brain. We also exist in the SADC region as Sabrain, and then in East Africa as ECABRAIN. Our offices, in each region, we have region offices. We have an office in West Africa, which is based in Benin, Cotonou, under ECABRAIN. In Sabrain, the region office is in Malawi, Lilongwe. And in East Africa, the region office for East African ECABRAIN region network is in Arusha, Tanzania. It's a big network in the sense that we have built partnerships, over 500 partners, including farm associations and the NGOs. And our work is to facilitate this partnership and catalyze investment in beans and catalyze bean value addition and addressing issues to do with bean production in Africa. Why are beans important? Beans are very important, and as you all know, they are a very important source of proteins and the other nutrients, which are very highly demanded by human bodies. And beans are a cheap source of proteins. If you can't afford meat, currently have beans that are high in proteins as well as high in iron and zinc. So, and also beans are important in the sense that they are grown by more than 4 million, on more than 4 million hectares across Africa. And there are very, very, very many investment opportunities that can be tapped into beans. And that's why we're here, and I'm going to talk about that. The project that is bringing us together, the title for that project is Improving Incomes, Nutrition Security through Development and Commercialization of Consumer Preferred Processed Legume-Based Products in Malawi and Zambia. As I told you earlier on, we are working in Malawi and Zambia, and the partners I've mentioned them, the Lilongwe University of Agriculture, the DAS, the processors, and the Bureau of Standards. The same cuts across in Zambia. We're working with the University of Zambia, Zambia Agricultural Research Institute, the processors, and now the Bureau of Standards for Zambia. Our overall goal is to catalyze value addition on nutritious legume foods through increased access to information on consumers' preferences, and also catalyze the demand for processed legume-based products. The outputs or the outcomes, rather the outcomes that are expected, we expect by the end of the project implementation is to have increased knowledge on the demand for the value-added legume-based products, better understanding of the nutritional quality, enhancing skills of the processors, sharing information with policymakers, and also building capacity for students at the universities. This project has two objectives. The first objective is to increase access to evidence-based information on consumer preferences and demand for processed legume-based products. It was, as I told you earlier on, the project has been launched, was launched recently on 21st of April. A series of activities have been done, and these are the ones which I don't want to dwell into. The second objective is to do with the increasing access to consumer acceptable products, and these will be optimized products as well. These products will be optimized through working with the students and the private sector in both countries. I had requested my colleague, Justice, if you are around, you could take over from here and talk about the private sector engagement.
Thank you, Robert. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, thank you. So I'm Justice Muntali, the research associate for nutrition. I'm based in Malawi. Sorry, I had, I think, a problem with my microphone and camera, and I'm glad that they are now working. So I'll continue from where Robert has stopped. So in the project, as already alluded, we do recognize the role of the private sector. Firstly, by improving the quality and making sure that the products that are made are affordable to consumers of all income levels. And we do believe that by working with the private sector, it is a win-win situation whereby the consumers will have products that are of improved nutrition, and the consumers themselves are going to make money. And the government is also happy when the people access, or the population is nutritious, as well as when the economy is operating well due to money that is being made by the processors. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. So in the project, recognizing the role of processors, initially we started engaging various private sector players to make sure that we get an impression of what is happening. So we started engaging with a number of processors both in Malawi and in Zambia. For instance, we have been engaging with Trinity, and Mark is in the meeting. Thank you, Mark. We have also been engaging with various other private sector players, as you can see on the slide. Next slide. And our engagement, the initial engagement, was basically to understand the legume-based products that are on the market. And we realized that there are a number of products, and one thing that we really saw was an observation that there are very few bean-based products which are on the market. And the finding was that these few products from beans is because of limited bean processing and knowledge. But the main products that were very much available on the market were from soya bean, as well as groundnuts. So this was something like a tip on our side to see how we can push in the bean-based products. Next slide. And also, when we were interacting with the processors in the initial stages, we also interacted with them and asked them the attributes in terms of the bean-based products which they would like to see improved. So most of the processors were mentioning about the food safety and quality attributes. Some were talking about nutritional attributes, because some of the SMEs were really into improving nutrition. For instance, a good example is that of Trinity. They are very clear, their vision is very clear that their entry is to improve the nutrition of the Lulo masses. So this was one of the areas that is very good for the project to optimize the products, as well as labeling, blending, optimizing the cost of production, as well as making linkages for the export markets, as well as other sensory attributes like taste, smell, color. aroma and texture. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we also asked ourselves what new products, because there are very few products from beans on the market, and then we said, okay, so what few products are there that can be adopted by the private sector for commercialization. So you know, we have products like bean flours. These could be blended bean flours or composite flours, whatever name you may prefer. There are canned beans, the bean puree, bean soup, bean jam, as well as, you know, taking bean and incorporating it in the existing or other products which are there. So we have at least a number of products that can be made from beans. Next slide. And then since in the project there are various activities that are going to be done, we also engaged by sending out checklists to the processors to ask them, listing the activities which are in the project. What do you think would be your role as a processor or as a private sector players? So these were the responses that we got from the private sector on how or what role they can play in the project. So these the first activity in the project was rapid market assessment. This activity has already been done. So if we have processors here, they appreciate how we have done the activity both in Malawi and Zambia, because we have been visiting the processors to create the baseline, or to understand their problems, their successes, and their gaps, so that we can establish entry points. So most of them, when we engaged them, they said, okay, during this activity, they can be able to assist the project to identify legume-based products that are commercially viable and are preferred on the market. They can also make available the current processed legume products for sampling, because one of the items that we were doing under this was to collect samples so that we can analyze to understand the current status of the of the products which are on the market. Next slide. Another activity was, you know, because we are going to have workshops that, you know, we are going to synthesize information from rapid market assessment, as well as design the research materials for other subsequent studies, like the conjoint based analysis. So the process, as I said, I know during this we can share information and advice on how to commercialize the new and improved products. We can also take part in the surveys. Next slide. And then there is also another activity where we are going now to develop and optimize the product. So during this, the processors we initially consulted, they said, okay, during this activity, we can assist to provide raw materials. We can also work with with the project team to optimize the product. So because we want the product development and the optimization to be led by the private sector, we asked them if they can make their facilities available. So, for example, what Robert said, that we are working with the university, it means we have students in the project that when they are developing their products, they are going to need the facilities from the private sector players. So we asked them if they can make their facilities available, and most of them said, no, it's okay, you can use our facilities. So they said we are going to work with the project to optimize product attributes and processing technologies. And most of the work is going to be done in the private sector processors' premises. And then they also said, no, we can also invite the project team to our sites to appreciate the current work on legumes and work on improving and optimizing the product attributes. Or we can also learn how to commercialize the new products and improved products, as well as promotion of the new and improved products. So this is the role they said they are going to play during the development of the products as well as the optimization. Next slide. And then there is also this activity. They said they're going to participate in preliminary testing of consumer acceptability of the prototypes. They're going to take part in preliminary testing, as well as making available the products for experiment, as well as distribution and marketing of the products. Thank you. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, so this slide is just trying to, to harness the power of the engagement or the power of the use of the private sector, the university, as well as the government and other NGOs which are there, when they work together, or why they need each other. So in the slide, we are showing one of the processors in Malawi who has just started processing bean jam. But much as the entrepreneur or the processor has started processing the jam, she has no understanding of the market. She has never done any studies on the product in terms of the nutrition attributes, the demand on the market. But the entrepreneur is very much interested to go into this, but has no technical knowledge as well as the economic muscle to carry out such studies. So this is where now the project is coming in to assist such processors. Where they are lacking, the project is coming in, and with the working or the engagement of the universities, this completes the circle to make sure that we are assisting each other to forge ahead and push the agenda forward. So this is a better example where the project will assist and can do so in a lot other processors which are out there. Next slide. Thank you. So that wraps up the discussion of giving an overview of various products that the project is pushing forward, and the the strength that can be harvested from working with the private sector and research institutions. Over to you, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justice. Thank you so much. Yes, in a nutshell, the last message of Justice is that's the gist of the project. We have a lot of private sector, small-scale private sector players in our rural settings, in towns, who have products that are not being scaled out for various reasons. And that's why we have this project to work to identify some of these processors, support them to get one or two products they are selling the community, work with them to optimize various parameters, and then test the product whether it is viable for commercial purposes and also whether it is nutritious. That is the gist of this project, and we would be happy to listen to the private people who have joined us here, the private sector players, to understand what their aspirations are and how we can work together to improve on their products. Over to you, Mr. Etienne.
Thank you, Robert and Justice, for that presentation. May I ask if there's anyone of the attendees who has a question to ask? Please post your question in the chat or raise your hand and unmute and ask your question. Mark, yeah, go ahead, Absalom.
Yeah, actually, Patrick, I've joined using the Absalom device. Yeah, my question is on, of course, it's very nice to learn that some of the processors have started making some products using legumes, including the jam that we have just seen. But yet, I was still wondering on how are they going to be assisted, especially on the market side, because these people are doing business and the public is not aware on these types of products, especially with legumes, apart from the beans that are being just processed by normal, ordinary methods, apart from the jams that they have just mentioned. So that's questions on how are they going to assist the public to, I don't know if they're going to push up or what terms they are using, but that's my question on how is that going to be effective.
Okay.
Robert?
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, we have a strong market team regarding the supporting our processors. Actually, in this call, our market expert, who's part of the project, Eliud, can also chip in. And Eliud, in fact, your hand is up. You could take it up from there.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Okay, I wasn't going to answer. I was having another question, but just to reflect on the question. Yeah, so we conduct a lot of market studies, and especially consumer studies. And these really inform the kind of preferences that are likely to be there in the markets. So some of the studies involve actual products, but some also involve hypothetical or products that are anticipated but have not been developed. So with these consumer studies that we carry out, we're able to generate the results which inform, and the private sector that we work with, they are co-participants in this kind of research, so that they develop their products with the hindsight of the market end, and we work with them throughout and do even the market testing, or even test marketing, all that process throughout until the product is just ready for going out. And of course, through our technical team, food technologies or nutrition, then the products are able to be designed in a way that responds to the market demands. So that's integrated within the project. And also maybe just adding on, PABRA, which is Pan-African Bean Research Alliance, which is implementing this project in behalf of the Alliance. It also acts as a kind of a mechanism that these new enterprises, new processors can be able to share experiences across different countries, the way TNS have just seen here. And anybody that is trying to work with beans is always free or open to join this kind of system that can help them grow, learn, and also benefit from the research knowledge all the way from varieties, development to the consumer studies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eliud. Eliud is our market expert, and yes, he has summarized it very well. Just to make it clear to Absalom, who asked this question, our work is to facilitate. We are not here to say we'll be providing market, but we are here to advise and guide the processors on how to improve on their products, on how to meet the required standards. That is by working with the Bureau of Standards for Zambia and other countries, and Malawi and even other countries, supporting them to meet the standards, say for standards for safety, standards for nutrition, labeling, packaging. And lastly, as I said, facilitate. We could also, where possible, if your product is acceptable, we facilitate the linkages, the linking the processor with potential buyers in the region. That we have done in several countries, and yes, we have some good results that are worth sharing. Anthony, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. There are 3 questions on the chat. If you mind looking at them and respond.
Okay.
From Anthony, from Mianda, and from Shriti.
Yeah, I've seen the Mianda, yes. Will the presentation be made available to share with other SMEs who did manage to join? Yes, it will be made available. I will share this presentation with Liz and Angela, who facilitated organizing this meeting. And the second question is, the project open to newcomers into the market? Are there funds to procure the necessary equipment? We are, well, yeah, we are really, would be very happy to work with the newcomers, the processors. We just had a rapid markets assessment, the ended last week. My colleague, Mwinga from the Zambia Agricultural Research Institute has been leading that activity. And we will be happy to talk to you. I'll ask my colleague to say something about this. Mwinga, if you are available, you could say if there's opportunity to talk to the processors who are new to join the project.
Thank you, Robert. Good morning, everyone. And I'm making a compilation of a number of processors from Zambia, and we'll soon share with you, Robert, so that you can add them to the group.
Okay.
But I shared the link with some of them. Unfortunately, I've not seen any on the participants list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been breaking. Sorry, I've been breaking. I'm on my way to Lusaka, so the network is not so good.
Okay, understand. It's okay. Thank you, Mwinga. There was another question.
Yes, another one from Mianda. What timelines are you looking at for this study? Will you be able to share the research findings? If so, by when?
Yes, that's a very good question. The timelines we started a little bit late, but this project should be ending by the last quarter of 2023. Reason being, it's a short project. Reason being, it's ending soon is that the window for funding from USAID is also closing by July next year, 2023. And this is a phase to prepare for the next phase. So if we get good results by next year, we will be having a bigger group to work with. That's why we have invited our partner, TechnoServe and USAID to invite you people to join us here. So yeah, we'll share the results and we'll be happy to move with you in the next phase. And the results will be shared through our partners who have arranged this meeting. Over to you, Anthony.
Yeah, Robert, can I just add a little bit?
Please go ahead.
Yes. So also to add, I think when I was making the presentation, there are some research workshops within the project to share, the results and design subsequent research activities in the project. So during that, there is also a role that the private sector will be playing, including participating in such research workshops. And during those research workshops, we'll also be sharing the results that we have uncovered in previous research activities. So much as we are going to share the results at the end of the project, but within the timeline of the project, there are also various activities that we are going to be discussing the results as we are moving to other activities within the projects. And during that, the processors are going to be part and parcel. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. There's another question from Patel. Okay. She read Patel. It's a comment. This is a fantastic project and great collaboration. What awareness programs are going to be put in place to the public to change culture and eating habits to a more nutritional and sustainable sourcing? Yeah, this is a very good question. We yes, we have at PABRA and the CIAT, we have a team, a communication team that does creating awareness. But in the context of this project, the communication team works with us, the nutritionists and the other players in the markets, seed system people, to draft the communication materials. Regarding dispatch of information for this project, we want to, once we have some results that are scientifically sound, we are going to work with policy makers. We are going to draft policy briefs. We are currently recruiting a consultant to review policies in both Zambia and Malawi. These are policies to do with food and value addition, regulation of food processing in Zambia and Malawi. Once we get the results, we shall package those results and inform the public through different channels about the beauty of adding value to legumes and how beans can add value to some of the products in the grain products in Zambia, and also informing the processors on how to improve their products. So we shall share information to do with the good manufacturing practices and how to meet the requirements to produce these products. The channels are quite many. You can use TV, social media, radio, but also we shall invite you. All of you will be invited in Zambia or Lusaka to share the findings of the project and then inform the policy actors that they should take over some of these activities and promote value addition to legumes. There's another question. It was Eliud going to the project leadership that organized this meeting. I think yeah, he's asking which among your enterprises work with beans or pulses in general. This can be interesting to collaborate with in the PAPRA incubation system. Anthony, could someone respond to that?
Yes, Robert, I've responded to it. He has shared his email, and there are a number of representatives from the different countries under AINFP. Mate from Zambia, Victor from Malawi. I'm yet to see someone from Tanzania. I am in Kenya. I think there's also Ethiopia. I think they'll respond to Eliud directly via email. I'm sure they'll take down his email, and he has shared it.
Good. It's interesting.
We have 4 more minutes.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I was saying we have 4 more minutes.
Yes, please. Okay. Yeah, it is interesting you've mentioned Victor in Malawi. We are working with him on one of the projects. USAID funded a project. And yeah. Lastly, there's another question from Patel. How can we get assistance in market linkage in the region? Okay. Yes, my colleague Eliud, I think, tried to respond to that. Eliud, could you add on how we can support partners to link them to the markets in the region?
Thank you, Robert. And yeah, thanks for the question, Patel. So, because we have these networks across these countries, so we try to understand what is demanded in each of these countries or what is preferred in these countries. And that also gives indication of what is available and what is the maybe in shortfall, but highly demanded. For example, in some countries, we are seeing very fast growth in bean-related products such as bean flour, even more than what is available or supplied. In some places, some of the processed products are also not in maybe good amounts or volumes. In some places, of course, will be great. So I think by working closely with the network, then it's possible to get these indications of where potential markets or where potential demand is, because many of our products are actually regional. They move from one country to another using the model that we use, which is called the commodity corridor model, which maps out areas where the markets and consumption areas are vis-a-vis where the distribution and production areas are. So I think further interactions, I think you would be able to get more maybe information on how we go about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliud. Yes, I think with those questions and comments from colleagues, Anthony, you can take over.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Eliud, and the rest of the team for responding to the questions and for sharing this presentation. Robert, would you mind sharing your email so that if anyone has a direct question to you, they can share it, and you can also share to the rest of the team. And I think, we've reached 2 minutes to 10:30, so we'll bring this meeting to a close. We appreciate everyone who managed to attend. We appreciate the AINFP team for bringing this together. Feel free to reach out to us or to Robert Fungo. His email has been shared on the chat for any questions around legume processing, etc. It's been a pleasure having all of you. We bring this to an end. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anthony. We appreciate it. And your team, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Robert, and thanks, Anthony. Thanks.